Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Supervisors meeting for July 28th, 2026. The board met in closed session. Item 1, direction was given to negotiators and staff. Item 2, the confidential minutes were approved as presented. Would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. First item on the agenda is public matters not on the agenda. These are discussion items only, no action to be taken. Any person may address the board at this time upon any subject. However, any matter that requires action may be referred to staff and or committee for a report for possible action at a subsequent board meeting. Please note there is a 3-minute time limit per person. All right, Mr. Wardle. Thank you. I got 2 of them. Unless it's 2 pages. It's the same thing. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay.
Good morning, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, and staff. My name's Dave Wardall, and I live in Ione, California, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to comment. We have a problem that surfaced with the Amador County Planning Department, and the problem is that the delay in bringing a project for 50,000 grave plots and buildings before the Planning Commission. The delay, the document I gave you, this has been going on 4 years, and it actually started 10 years ago in Sacramento County. In Sacramento County, the Community Planning Advisory Committee looked at the project and threw it out, and that was done. So the applicant then moved to Amador County and started with submitting a package in 2022, and it was suspended because incomplete and had a lot of problems. Came back in 2025, suspended, incomplete, had a lot of problems. So the planning department finally accepted the application package in 2026. It was scheduled for, I think, June, then slipped to July, and then slipped to August. Now I'm told it's indefinitely on hold because the applicant has refused to respond to a gate problem on the entryway. The gate is too narrow, meeting the fire code requirements. Now that's a real simple situation to fix. You widen the gate. There's a lot more problems on that than just the gate. But my request here, that's the problem. So my request is what is the existing county code or rule or whatever, council and board, that is preventing this project from going forward? How can the applicant sit there and go, oh, I'm not going to respond to this, so it's on an indefinite hold? That's not fair to us, the citizens in the area there that have been looking at this nightmare for 4 years. My request is specifically for county council and or the planning department chairman, what is the code section, policy, or rule that gives an unlimited amount of time to settle a problem that is very simple? I'd like to know that. That's first question. And then second, how can we solve the problem? And I'm asking, and I don't know. When I get that answer from county council of what the rule, regulation, or policy is, how can it be amended by the Board of Supervisors, if necessary, to terminate a project in the Planning Commission if the applicant is unresponsive. That's a fair request. So what I'd like to do is request that we have an agenda item for the next board meeting to look at action of changing a policy, rule, or regulation or county code, so that if an applicant is non-responsive to a very simple question, that the project is permanently terminated, or it is sent to the planning commission for a decision on what they have. It's real simple. If the gate's too narrow, then that section of the application can be rejected and reject the project. I mean, it's not rocket science. So that's my request. I think it's very fair. I thank you for the opportunity to comment. Any questions? Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Welcome. And there's a sign-in sheet too that I forgot about. He did state his name, but you state your name and sign in, please, too.
Good morning. My name is Serena Hangs. Good morning. I'm here to present a petition that a few community members and myself have created in regard to increased safety measures on Upper Ridge Road. We based our petition on data from CHP incident reports and traffic injury mapping system through UC Berkeley over the last 3 years, as well as we reviewed the 2024 Engineering and Traffic Survey Report. Plus, we got feedback from the CHP, one of the Board of Supervisors, as well as the community. We were able to collect over 420 signatures, and we are respectively requesting that the board consider reviewing the recent traffic collision incident trends on Upper Ridge. The severity of the accidents as well as reckless driving has substantially increased on Upper Ridge between 88 and Climax. We're requesting that up to four stop signs identified at high-risk collision incident areas be installed, and that's in more detail on the petition as well as the locations. We are requesting that some school 25-mile-per-hour when children are present signs be installed prior to the Mike Clark Field, where they have lots of soccer practice and events. People are driving past that area like in excess of like 55, 60 miles per hour. And the field is literally like 20 to 30 feet from the road, and there's children in the parking area. And so we're requesting that those signs be installed to get people to slow down in that area. As well as we're requesting that the current weight limit signage with more visible signage to deter trucks from coming down Ridge. There has been recently just so many like freight liners coming down Ridge. Not only is that concerning, but the speeds that they're driving on the road is concerning too. And we're requesting that there's increased CHP presence after the stop signs are installed to, enforce that. Upper Ridge Road, we're just noticing an alarmingly increase in the reckless driving, and it is a residential area. A lot of the residents that live on the strip that's right by Dollar General and Mike Clark, their front doors are literally like 30 feet to 75 feet from the highway. Some of the comments there is some public comments that we included in your packet there. There are literally some families that live on Upper Ridge that do not let their children play in their yard because of how many accidents have happened in their front yard. And I just think that's ridiculous. Like, these are people's yards in their area. There's school bus stops on Upper Ridge where children have to walk along it to get back to their homes, with people flying by. And we're just requesting that you guys consider installing the stop signs and the other things that I had mentioned, and then putting us on the agenda in future meetings to address how these things are gonna happen. So I thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you for the
Questions?
information.
Have you brought this to the ACTC, the Transportation Commission?
No, I have not.
I'll forward the document to them, but that's also a really good place to go. It's a state highway also, so we have jurisdiction. I believe it's a state highway. Ridge Road, no? Okay.
No.
Okay, on the map it says that, but maybe not. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, we'll forward that to the
Okay, thank you.
ACTC. Yep.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hello, my name is Tracy Ament, and I respectfully address the Board of Agenda,
There you go.
or the Board of Supervisors, in support of the Upper Ridge Road agenda. I've lived on Ridge Road for over 50 years now. The traffic has increased, which is understandable due to the growth that we've had in our county, but the accidents have skyrocketed out of control. Where I live is directly on Ridge Road. We've had numerous accidents in our front yard. One of the accidents that we had involved a car that was speeding and plowed into a utility pole, sheared the utility pole off completely. It pulled part of the electrical out of our home, and as a result, we had to do a lot of extensive electrical work in our home due to this accident. One incident that we had also was we were trying to pull out of our driveway, and so many cars were speeding past that it literally took us 5 minutes to pull out of our driveway. I've come to fear driving on Ridge Road. This breaks my heart because I grew up on Ridge Road. This petition also addresses big rigs on Upper Ridge Road. We have an average of 5 to 6 rigs drive past our house every day. One of those big rigs, their trailer tires went off partway into our yard. That was really scary. I was expecting that to become a severe accident. And again, my fear of driving on Upper Ridge Road. There needs to be better visible signage, letting people know that this is not a truck route. More truckers need to be cited for this being on Ridge Road. We've got some residents that do own big rigs, but the rigs that I'm talking about are hauling livestock, produce, as well as tanker trucks. Those are the ones that I am very fearful of being on our road for. I respectfully ask that you, as the Board of Supervisors, will consider our petition and help us to make Upper Ridge Road more safe. Thank you for your time. Any questions? Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name's Clayton Peck. Okay, you know you're getting old when you go to a council meeting and one of your kids' schoolmates is now sitting on the council. Congratulations, Logan.
I mean, I've grown old too.
Well, I didn't have to say that, did I? Anyway, thank you for taking the time for this. I am also here about the Ridge Road situation. We live where we have to enter Ridge Road from Bowman, which is marked, coming from the west, it's marked as a blind intersection because it is blind. It was bad enough when the traffic was going 35 miles an hour and they're supposed to be going 35 miles an hour and they fly by at 50, 60 sometimes, coming from the west, and you can't see them. We installed a mirror, our subdivision installed a mirror across from us, but it doesn't work well enough. At night, you can see lights coming up. During the day, it's useless. I have a little bit different take on it. I think going from Ridge Road from both the west and the east could be addressed a little better. First of all, coming from the west, you cross New York Ranch. The speed limit there is 45. And then you get just past there to, I forget the name of that road on the left-hand side, Sandar or something like that. And then there's a sign saying end of 45, speed limit. And then less than a tenth of a mile later, it's a 30 mile an hour if you go straight on to Climax, and it's 40 if you go up Ridge Road. Why take that sign that says end of 45 out? Just let them go 45 until the point where it turns to 30 or goes to 40 up Ridge Road. I was not a fan of the change to 40 because of the dangers of pulling across the highway. Literally, I'm taking my life in my hands every time I pull out on that road from Bowman Lane. That's just not right. I have a couple suggestions that are fairly cheap. A couple of years ago, with the help of Gary Redmond, I was able to talk to the building department on a conference call, and I was told at the time that it's ridiculous, I was told, that was the word, to ask for certain things to be done. I asked for the gouges to be put in the road, slowing people down, the like a rumble, instead of a rumble strip protruding, that it goes down. That way the snow plows can go right over it without any issue. This allows for a sound saying, hey, you're approaching a blind intersection. That will help slow people down. That and better signage. That signage is as old as I've been in Amador County, which is, we moved here in '89. Okay, that is old signage. The pole that used to have a flashing light there saying that there is a blind intersection is still there, but the light's long been gone. It's not hooked up anymore. The issue, I think, could be addressed really easily with two things: better signage and more enforcement. It is not a highway anymore, even though it is marked on some maps as a highway. I understand the issues with getting Google to possibly get a truck recommendations and car recommendations. That's, sending trucks that way is fine. Bigger sign, no trucks. Drop that 10 ton limit sign down to 6. And then maybe have a fake cop car right there saying, look at the sign, because if a lot of these truckers, they can't speak English, let alone read English, okay? There needs to be something that makes it really obvious that this is not a truck route. I have been damn near rear-ended pulling out to the right, which for me is east, out of Bowman, and having a big rig come up, behind me, having to slow down as he's coming up the hill because I pulled out. That's not okay. That's not okay. That a truck is going so fast, two-trailer truck is going so fast, he has to slow down when he reaches the top of the hill of a blind intersection. Okay? We need enforcement. We need help, people. We need help, because somebody's going to get killed. Somebody else is going to get killed on Ridge Road. I personally, in the last 5 years, have been passed 9 times on Ridge Road because I drive the speed limit. Not under the speed limit. I'm tempted to piss people off, but that's just going to make them, feel vindicated to go faster or go around me. I had one kid that I was pulling a trailer coming back from the dump, gonna go to my brother's house down off, past New York Ranch. And this little car comes up behind me, past the car behind me, just by Lupe, goes to cut in behind my trailer and did it really fast and clipped the end of my trailer. My trailer's a piece of crap, I don't care. But then he tried to pass me again, right there by the church. And a lot of the problem is when that left-hand turn lane got put in, people think, oh, big wide road, and they think they can go. This may be a problem with the snowplows, but there are those plastic ballards, little things like this, put it right along the side of that left-hand turn lane, so cars can't go across that turn lane without hitting all those plastic ballards. Even in the snow, you don't have to go in that thing because it's a turn lane. Go past it, push it, past it, push it. Those can be okay. Any other ideas would be greatly appreciated. You guys been here a while? Well, most of you. But you know what Amador County needs. And I am Amador County. For God's sake, my daughter was Miss Amador once in '95, you know? You can't get a whole lot more Amador County than that. So I would appreciate all the help you can give me. Help us stay alive on Ridge Road. Thank you.
Can I address a couple things? Is that okay? No?
Very general.
Only very
Very general.
briefly
I was trying to think of the word you were gonna say, very general.
and brief.
There's a lot that's being done, and there's a lot more that could be done. So that's brief.
Okay, that's fine. Anyone else? Any Zoomers? Oh, sorry. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning. Good morning. Jamie Lebanco, before you today as the president of the Amador County Fair Board. Thank you for your time, Chairman Crew and members of the board. I want to recognize the seriousness of the comments before me because I come before you with nothing but light-hearted comments. So I just wanted to recognize those. Also, the parent of a Miss Amador 2014. So we have that in common. Pat Crew is also the parent of Miss Amador.
97.
I was going to say 2007 and give you 10 extra.
Yeah, thanks.
This is Amador County Fair Week, and so I am with you briefly this morning, but I thought I would take it as a nice opportunity to come and thank you for a few things, invite everybody to the fair, and share a few highlights of what we have planned this year. Today, our livestock animals are loading in. Pigs are all on site. When I left, the lambs were coming in. We have one broken scale, so we're down to one scale. People with lambs will be waiting in a little bit of a line, but it's not too hot, so we're hoping everybody will be in good spirits. Opening day is, of course, coming on Thursday. At 10 a.m., we have a parade. The grand marshals of the parade this year will be the Halverson family in memory of their father, Frank. I know that Supervisor Oneto will be there to greet the crowd at opening day, as he always is. We're always happy to have him. We have the Rodeo Queen competition at 1 o'clock. We encourage, I don't know if we have a Rodeo Queen parent here, but that's a new addition to the county fair and a very positive thing. That's happening at 1 o'clock on Thursday.
It's just my niece, not my daughter.
Just a niece, but close enough. Of course, we have the Miss Amador competition, and this board and the county has always been incredibly supportive of that particular competition. Miss Amador happens at 8 o'clock, and we have 8 contestants.
Sorry, that one's my niece. I got it wrong.
But I think she was also a rodeo queen.
She was rodeo queen the year before.
Yeah, some of you show off.
Yes.
The Miss Amador contest has 8 contestants this year, and that's really delightful for us, and they have incredible talents. I watched one of the rehearsals last night. And it is a prime example of how the Amador County Fair and a lot of volunteers pour themselves into the youth of our community. You see it everywhere in every corner of the fairgrounds, and I think it's something we're incredibly proud of. So Miss Amador competition is at 8 o'clock on Thursday. We also have the Mutton Bustin' on Thursday night. That actually will happen at 6:30. It is the Frank Halverson Memorial Mutton Bustin' from this moment forward, and we will have a little bit of a program in advance of the Mutton Bustin' in memory of Frank. Friday night, wine tasting. That's pretty exciting. You have some folks from the wine industry here today. I guess I should give a shout out to Hellwig Winery. They are Winery of the Year, which essentially means they won the most awards. We also have truck pulls on Friday, and of course the Spasmatics. As a member of the Fair Board for 14 years, I will tell you that the thing that brings me probably closest to danger when I make decisions is the possibility of not bringing back the Spasmatics. So they are there on Friday night. On Saturday, Cattlemen's Day, we all love to watch the local cowboys on Saturday morning. I encourage anybody who has not done that, please come do that. There's so many fun competitions that happen there. You can grab breakfast at the Windmill, watch the cowboys, the local cowboys, and then wander over at 11 o'clock where the special comps happen in the youth building. Special comps is actually community members who bring in things like barbecued ribs, chocolate silk pie, things like that, and they are judged live. Jim Geedy is one of our judges, as well as the Undersecretary of Ag comes and judges that. And then we have one chef on that judging panel just for good measure. And that's a lot of fun to watch as well. There's a men's competition there that's quite lively. So all of the men in this community that consider themselves to be incredible chefs show up with their special dishes. Of course, we have new things added. There's arm wrestling this year at the Amador County Fair. I wonder if there's a member of this board that's great at arm wrestling. If so, 2 o'clock on Saturday on the main stage. Sunday, we have the livestock auction, and I encourage everybody that has a couple extra cents to rub together to come out and support the kids in the junior livestock auction. Hundreds of kids will go through the ring, and they will put forth some incredible projects that will fill up your freezer with delicious meat. My family lives off of beef and pork and even a Thanksgiving turkey from the Amador County Fair every year, and I realize that is a privilege, but I encourage anyone that has the ability to do so to come support those kids. And then last but not least, our Destruction Derby, which will happen Sunday night. Both the rodeo and the Destruction Derby are sold out, but there are still tickets available for the wine tasting event and the truck pulls. I think that's it. Again, thank you. Thank you to this board for your continued support of the Miss Amador competition. Of course, we also recognize that the support we get from the Sheriff's Department is a direct result of this board as well. So we're just very grateful, and we hope to see you at the 2026 Amador County Fair. Bring your cowbell. Thank you.
All right. All right, anyone else?
I have one change on what Jamie said. I had committed to open the fair, but I've got a family friend whose services are going to be, she passed away suddenly, be held down in Ione, so I'm not going to be opening the fair. I'm going to be at the Cornerstone Church instead. So I got to call Robert Manacero and let him know.
All right. Okay, everybody had their say. One more. Good morning.
How are you?
Hi.
Morning.
My name is Doug Hawkins. And I apologize, this is very impromptu. I didn't prepare much because I just learned of this. So I'm a sixth generation Amador resident. I really care for our community. I have great admiration for our community. With that said, I serve as the nursing home administrator for Kit Carson right across the street. It's come to my knowledge that there's been recent moves to not include fire department response in our 911 calls. We're one of the greatest producers in the county of 911 calls because we deal with the frail and the elderly. With that said, I'm the highest regulated, second highest regulated agency or industry in the world, right below nuclear. And when I say me, I don't mean healthcare, I mean skilled nursing. That's how highly regulated we are, because we're dealing with sick and elderly and all that. So I would ask that we reconsider approving these stats on 911 calls to Kit Carson to include fire department response. It's vastly needed. So in short, any questions?
Just a comment, you may have been slightly misinformed. They're just going to drop the ability, the Major M money, which is call, you get paid on population and the actual calls depending on whose district it is. And there's non-medical aid calls. It's a new, Chief Marino, maybe you could explain it better than me, because he was in on the, well, I saw you there, I thought, I'm gonna let you. It's not that they're not gonna respond. It'll be no change in your service, as I understand it. Is that right?
Yes, Dominic Marino, Sutter Creek Fire, also president of the Amador County Chiefs Association. Yes, we, Measure M, we approved, it's on the agenda to discuss it today. So what happened with Kit Carson is the instances for reservists from Jackson has blown up over the last 5 to 6 years, from roughly 50, 70 calls to over almost 200 calls. And a lot of those calls are assistance that, like, somebody just needs to go to the hospital for a checkup, or somebody needs a lift assisted, things like that. We had the discussion at the Measure M at the meeting, is that Kit Carson's facility is designed and it's they charge people for those services, and those services should be rendered by Kit Carson people. So we had a long discussion on this. It does not affect the response to Kit Carson at all. It's Jackson's choice to respond or not to your calls. We have a lot of calls that we've eliminated over the last couple of years out of the system. We still respond to them, but we just don't count them towards Measure M. So example is flooding call. If you have a flooding call, we come out, we deal with it, but it doesn't part of Measure M. Snake removal, cat removals, smoke detector, all those things have now been removed from Measure M charges. So it's still, the agency still respond, but it doesn't, Measure M doesn't pay for those calls. So yeah, there is no change with Jackson unless Jackson City decides to change their response.
And therein lies the issue, and why I'm asking it be readdressed and maybe reconsidered, because that's open-ended. It sounds like they can still say no, which I think is detrimental, because I've worked in 5 counties. I've never had fire department not respond.
Right, and that's not an issue for the supervisors, it's actually for the city council of Jackson, because they control the fire department in Jackson.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief.
You want to sign this? Very welcome. Okay.
You may, Connie Gonzalez is probably the senior fire expert on the city council. One of the council, she might be the person you might want to talk to about that.
Okay. Perfect.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate your time.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, my name is Brenda Walker, and I want to support the request to look into how traffic is managed on Ridge Road, Upper Ridge Road. I was very sad when, after the road construction, the area from Highway 88 to Loopy, I believe it is, was zoned as a 40-mile-an-hour zone. I, too, recognize the people living in that area as not being able to get out of their driveways safely. If you look down that part of the road, you see common driveways going in, but there's no it's not a loop driveway. It's not a double wide one that you can turn in and back around. You only have one way into those driveways. And people going 40 or first faster are a detriment to those people that have lived there a long time. I've only lived here 51 years. So it's 52 this year. I want to, again, encourage the Board of Supervisors, the district, the transportation committees to realize how hard it is for that particular area to come out. And yes, I have too been passed on Upper Ridge Road, going the 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. Scared the heck out of me, twice. But I've also been tailgated ridiculously many more times. So anything you can do that will help the situation. I understand that it's difficult in other ways because we do get snow, although lately not too much. So your snowplows have to be able to go on that road. But I'm looking at your county map up there. You don't show the new county map. The little worm that we call District 4, going from Pine Grove down, that tells you how much of a population, because your supervisorial districts all have to have the same number of people. The fact that District 4 is so skinny on a map tells you how many people are living in that area and need that road to be a safe road. Thank you for your time. I hate to come back again. I couldn't say no. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, hearing no more, still no Zoomers.
No, not at this time.
All right, we'll move on here. Thank you for your input this morning. Next item is approval of today's agenda.
So move.
Second.
And a motion by Supervisor Cornell, a second by Supervisor Epperson. All in favor signify.
me.
What?
I think it was me.
Oh, took my hearing, I guess. Supervisor Brown, sorry, Supervisor. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next is approval of items on the consent agenda. Anything we need to pull to discuss or changes or?
Motion approved.
Second.
I had a motion by Supervisor Oneto to approve the consent agenda, second by Supervisor Cornell. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 3 is the regular agenda for today. 3A is the Amador Wine Country Annual Report. This is a presentation only. Welcome.
I thought you brought wine.
It's a day meeting.
My name is Megan Van Hook, and I'm the Executive Director of Amador Wine Country.
Welcome, Megan.
Okay. So we're here today to give our annual report, and we are not going to propose any boundary changes or any improvements or changes to our 1% gross direct-to-consumer collection. So wanted to bring that out first for you. And then the next one. So right now with our district, we are collecting 6% for quality and education, 23% is admin and operations, 5% is our reserves, and 66% we're putting towards our marketing and brand awareness. All of this from our assessment does not cover all of our operating costs, so we do have supplemental income coming in through events. And it's not a milestone, it was milestones that we went through to get the organization together. So we had to create a new entity through the IRS, which is so much fun. We had to do a new bank account. So we actually didn't get up and rolling until March of 2025. We also did a practice run of the assessment district with our members to make sure that they were able to use the system and everything was running smoothly. We went through a democratic elections. 100% of our board members are winery owners or a representative of a winery. We created policy, so we have standards for employees and for members. So we created policies and procedures. We're adhering to the Brown Act for all of our meetings. And we've also formed committees. So we have education, finance, policy, marketing, events, and audit. Did I forget one?
Another typo.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. At least you know AI didn't do it. So we have transparency with our governance. We have on our website posted all of our board meetings and our committee meetings. You can go at any time and see the meeting notes and agendas and use our Zoom links. I also have a binder for board meetings and for committees. So if anyone wants to walk in, they can come in and look at it on paper and any items that were passed out at the meetings. So they're readily available. Okay. And within the process, we created a mission statement. Amador, the wine country experience, contributing to the economic vitality of member wineries in Amador. So we are working together. Okay. And then I wanted to explain the process since we do have new board members. So what the wineries have done is they have created an extra line item on their receipt. So they're collecting 1% of the wine sales in the county. And then from that, they are saving this money quarterly, and they're setting it aside. And then quarterly, they report to HDL, which is a third party, and they pay HDL. And then 30 days later, our district receives the funds. So it's not putting any hardship on you, but we have a third party doing it for us. And you actually have login information, and you're able to pull reports. You get more reports than we do. So we can always go with that. Okay, the next one. So we are the Amador Wine Heritage District. That is our entity name, but we decided for customer facing that we were going to change and have a DBA. So we use Amador Wine Country. We felt like it was more public facing and moving away towards corporate and more story driven and down to earth. Next one. And then we since we're going to be driving traffic to Amador, we wanted to do kind of behind the scenes for our members. So we have done HR compliance. So and then we've also done direct-to-consumer workshops, and we've also brought out hands-on winemaking seminars. We created a brand recipe. So we're down to earth, acknowledgeable, welcoming, inviting, historic, and authentic. Like our top. Okay. Now, it's for these ones. So what we did is we created our branding for Amador Wine Country.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Handout day.
Okay. So this took us a little bit of time, but we wanted to create our branding and our marketing plan before we really got going. So these are some of the items. The brand book goes into a little bit more detail, our coloring, logos, placement. It's very in-depth. And then with that came our marketing plan. And with our marketing plan, we decided to increase our visual creatives. Oh, we changed the slide. We increased our digital online presence for SEO, for social media, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And then we also went to CTV streaming, so that's Hulu, Netflix, YouTube TV channels instead of the traditional broadcast, which we are still doing traditional broadcast as well. The nice thing about those is you can set your demographic. So when you do traditional, you have to guess what time and day to do an advertisement. This one you can set the age, the sex, and what the hot topics are or different shows that they watch, and then it will give them the commercial. So it's a little bit more targeted. We also have done some print advertising. Melinda will show you a little bit larger version of that. We did at the Folsom Rodeo. We have some radio advertisement going on, and then we've also have a social media developer who is helping us with all of our branding. We are strategically targeting a 2-hour travel radius so that we can get leads faster and have more consistent visitors to come out here and visit us. And then this is some of the new photography that we have. With our photographer, she is giving all of the photography to the wineries as well for them to use for their branding. So we're co-marketing with that. And then we are doing videography. Want to try it? Yeah, so I want to show you a few examples of what we've been doing. So that one is currently running on CTV and broadcast.
Bella Grace is a family winery. It's actually named after my great-grandmothers, Bella and Grace. My parents purchased the property here with 20 acres of vineyards planted in 2006, and we had our first vintage in the fall of 2006, so we're celebrating our 20th anniversary this year. We make mostly Italian and French Rhone varietals. The vineyard is California Sustainably Certified. We're actually 100% organically farmed. People want to come here and they want to hang out. They feel like they're family here. We have people who've been working with us since the very beginning, and wine club members who come up every year, multiple times a year for about 20 years. And being able to come and hang out with your friends, enjoy being inside the cave or overlooking probably the best view in the valley. It is a place that people should feel welcome.
So this is a social media ad, and we had 29,000 views on this ad.
So our winery's been a work in progress for over 100 years. My family immigrated from northern Italy around 1908 and then bought the property in 1911. I'm now the 4th generation. We want to be authentic and we want to be approachable, and we want people to come and say, this is someplace I want to come and hang out. I want to enjoy good wines and have people have a very authentic experience.
This one on social media received 15,000 views and is still running.
Just to show how family-oriented Amador County still is. This was a wine that I had produced in secret. So I had bought a whole wine lot auction from the Bay Area, and it just so happened that one of the wines in there was a wine produced by my grandfather as a home winemaker in '74. So in secret, I digitized the label My favorite's Infidel Vineyard, my uncle's favorite's Infidel Vineyard, and his favorite's Infidel Vineyard. And I did a small lot production of a Zinfandel in the style that he had done, and did his original blue heron label and released it for his 90th birthday as a surprise. And then it scored very, very highly, so I'm pretty proud of that wine. Yeah.
And this one has received over 14,000 views. And 25% of our demographic is coming from Sacramento and 11% from Roseville. Most of them are women over 65 as well. Was that the last one? Okay, perfect. So for our social media, you can go to the, I think you skipped through one more. There you go. So for our social media in the past year, we've had 180,000 views on our social media, and we've increased by 245 followers. So we're doing really well. Those platforms seem to really increase our traffic for us. For the next one, we did partner with Nexstar. They are Fox 40, but because we're using CTV, it's multiple stations. So we've had over 1.3 million impressions, and then it kind of gives you how much we've been spending through it. And then we're also using them to help us with our search engine optimization. So we're getting about 10%, which is great click-through rates. And the same with video and audio is 95%. So let's see. I can actually skip through two. And one more. There we go. So most of the channels that it's playing on, Fox News gets 99%. MTV is 99% also. The CW, Bloomberg TV, and CBS. For the audio streaming, we have Sonos, iHeartRadio, Odyssey, and Spotify. So that's for, when you're in the car or if you're playing radio on your phone. So it's not the traditional radio stations. But we are able to target the demographic that we want when they're listening. And with this as well, it's women and men over 65 who is our target demographic. We also do print advertising, so we have our winery maps. Can you pass this out for me? So we have, this one's right here. You can do both. So we have our Amador guide and winery map that we have. We print about 10,000, and I think we're gonna be doing another run. We get over 10,000 downloads a month on our website of this map for people who are using on their phone. But we have printed over 7,000 this year. That's what it is. And then we also had another print ad, I believe we showed you earlier, from the Folsom Rodeo. Oh, she is on. Okay, perfect. And then our education committee has been working hard on maps, and they've decided to make districts. So we have Shenandoah, Fiddletown, Greater Sutter Creek, and West End. Those, did you pass those ones out? So this is something that we've been working on all year. We are just finalizing it. I got in my email this morning the final drafts, and we will be adding them into the wine country maps. So I had some printed for you so you could see it. So in the maps, we'll be highlighting the different districts and the different things that you can do within the districts, a little bit easier of a guide for consumers when they come out. And then earlier, I talked about we needed another source of revenue. So we are still doing our events. We have Behind the Cellar Door, Amador 4 Fires, Barbera Festival, and the Big Crush. And those are helping us keep our flow of money. And the next one, so for our assessment with the budget versus actual, we kind of scaled back on our budget because we weren't quite sure what we were going to be getting since our numbers were from 2021. So we did hit our goal for every quarter for the last 4 quarters. And this last one coming up, HDL did give me a report, so we did hit our goal for this last quarter as well. So just kind of showing you the growth of us putting money in, and we're showing that we're increasing the revenue for the district. And then we did have some carryover at the end of the year. The Education Committee has just about spent all of that funds. And then with the marketing, we slowed our marketing until we had our branding and our marketing plan. So now I've been instructed to spend. So we are spending the money. But we wanted to make sure it was planned. So, yeah. Do you have any questions for me?
I have one quick one. So all the wineries are holding back the 1%, but those advertisements were for specific wineries. How's that process take place?
So I send out an email, and the first 5 wineries that respond get the video.
Oh,
Yeah.
is there a plan to sort of work your way through them all?
Yeah, we have another one, another 5 coming out in August. So we just keep going, and we're just gonna keep going. And then we have the photographer that goes out. Even when we have events, they go to every single winery. So we have hit every winery for photography.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's the plan. So, but it actually is harder to get someone to volunteer for video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For anything.
Yeah.
Don looked good on it.
Okay.
I'll be glad to have this in my truck because I'm the dedicated wine guide. So I can sit there and put it.
Perfect.
On my way home.
A lot of information,
Very good.
a lot of goodies too, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that was presentation only. Well done.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
the code does require the board approve the report,
Oh,
so there is an action.
Public comment too.
any public comment? Any Zoomers? All right, we'll bring it back to the board. We have a resolution we need to adopt.
Motion to approve the annual report.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Brown, second by Supervisor Epperson to approve the annual report. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Greg, for pointing that out.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you for showing up. 3B is transfer of Pine Grove Park to the county from Pine Grove Community Services District. This is adopt a resolution.
There's a staff report in the packet, but as you know, the Pine Grove Community Services District is dissolving. It's going through the LAFCO process, but that, as the board winds down, this is sort of a step in implementing the dissolution of the district. GSA is prepared to take over. They know it's coming. And so this is similar to what we did with the cemetery. The district has done a deed to the county. The county has to formally accept it. So there's a resolution that accepts the deed and then authorizes the signing of a certificate of acceptance. And then there's the LAFCO process will continue, and then that will dissolve the district formally.
This is the only action we have to take.
Yes.
Okay.
Just thought I'd pass on to the other supervisors. We reserved in LAFCO, there was, that park has been funded by a cell tower, and we retained that. So the cell tower is going to be on a tank that's now owned by the water agency, but they have, they're going to pass through the money from the cell tower to continue to fund the park. So the park should fund itself, which is the first thing we've, and then also the water. So we had to take on the cemetery, and Pine Grove Community Services District gave the water for the cemetery to to the cemetery, sorry, for, at bulk rates, so we also reserved that, which is a pretty significant savings. And it appears as if the water agency agreed to both of those. So they're less expensive.
And there's also a well on the property that the county's getting that I believe Public Works intends to access and maintain and use if they need it for any of their projects.
Where's the well located?
It's it's, I think it's inside the building.
Really?
Yeah. But it's on the 1 acre parcel that we're taking.
So does the 1 acre parcel includes includes all of it, that whole
The
corner?
1 acre parcel includes the office, fire station, and the park itself.
Now, AFPD going to be also still sending their allotment to, their pay? Because I guess they rent the building.
We just tripled their rent, so.
There you go. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Well, I think the county pays the rent.
No, I know, I'm kidding, yeah.
Yeah, so.
For paying ourselves rent, that's a good business decision.
Any questions from the supervisors? Pretty procedural, I think.
Well, to go on, as you're saying that, so that's coming probably out of 132 money? 172? So still, could that be a wash through to help parks?
It can go wherever we want it to go.
Okay.
It's not gonna be a net increase.
Right.
But, yeah, so.
But, because we can't use 172 money directly to parks, but this would be indirectly.
Right, but then it would take away from other departments that are
Right.
getting 172.
Okay.
They would, so you're taking from one pocket and put it into the other.
Yeah, but our parks have been underfunded for,
Understood? Yeah.
Yep.
it won't it's only going to be, another 7 months until we have a fire station. They're not going to be there anyway.
Yeah, I read it, looks pretty, needs to be done.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, sir.
No, you didn't. Fine. Any public comment on this? Any Zoomers?
Not at this time.
All right, bring it back to the board.
I would make a motion to adopt the resolution.
And I'll second.
Right, we had a motion by Supervisor Carnell and a second by Supervisor Brown to adopt the resolution transferring Pine Grove Park to the county from the Pine Grove Community Services District. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you all very much. 3C, code enforcement. We've got 3 in a row, so podium is yours. Whoops.
Good morning, Board. Michelle with Code Enforcement. First one is regarding a proposed loan agreement for the manual property cleanup at 17780 Gold Creek Trail in Volcano. A little background on it: on October 9th, 2025, Administrative Abatement Hearing Board of the County of Amador held a hearing regarding municipal code violations on the property owned by Catherine Manuel located in Volcano. Specifically, the subject property contained an unpermitted junkyard defined in the county code as 19.08.360, and a accumulation of household trash is defined in code sections 7.24.020 and 7.24.030. The hearing board found the violations continue to exist and recommended that the Amador County Board of Supervisors issue an order for the administrative abatement of the unpermitted junkyard and trash. On October 21st, 2025, the Amador County Board of Supervisors likewise found the existence of an unpermitted junkyard and accumulation of household trash and ordered the administrative abatement. On May 28, 2026, a final inspection was conducted after Ms. Manuel was granted an additional 60 days to clean up the junk and trash on her property before any county abatement action would be taken. She also requested a loan to cover the cost of up to 2 40 cubic yard dumpsters and the dumping fees at Republic Waste Services, Inc. Ms. Manuel has committed to repaying the loan and has made progress towards bringing her property in compliance, but she needs the assistance to achieve the compliance more quickly. So again, she is asking for support for up to 2 dumpsters, not to exceed the $2,400. She would pay a minimum of $100, but must pay the amount within the 6 months. Failure to clean up the land or pay the loan would result in code enforcement moving forward with an abatement and collecting all administrative and abatement costs. But Ms. Manuel has made substantial progress and is more than willing to comply with our help. And she's here.
You know, one thing I would say is, if I was Miss Manuel, I'd probably have a yard sale. It's amazing what people will buy. Might help pay for the dumpsters.
I wouldn't call this stuff probably
Pardon?
sellable.
You might be surprised.
Well, like I said, she's asking for up to 2, so she may only need 1 if she does that sell. But she does need some assistance to get that stuff off.
I once saw a battery with a hole in it sell for $12.50 back in like 1990. Wait a minute, no, 1980.
Did you buy it?
No, Mr. Henry Garibaldi bought it. My brothers and I were dumbfounded. We couldn't figure out what was so special about that battery. So finally, we kind of got Henry off the side and said, Henry, what's so special about that battery? He said, I didn't want him to have it.
Yeah.
He got in a chest bumping contest with some guy, and whatever that guy bid on, Henry bought it no matter what the price was.
All right, welcome.
I would greatly appreciate the Board of Supervisors approving a loan for us so we can finish the cleanup. There's not very much things left. I don't think we'll need 2, but like Michelle said, we should probably set for 2, and if we only use 1, we'll pay for whatever we use. What else? I don't know. I'm nervous. I don't know what else to say.
All right, you're fine.
I would greatly appreciate viewing monthly payments to pay back the loan, and I'm really sure what else to say. Okay.
Also, do you have any tires up there?
No, there's no tires, no paint, no hazardous waste, nothing like that.
She got rid of all that.
Okay, because there's that tire amnesty deal thing.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your input.
Okay.
And thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
You're working on it.
So much of the time, we don't see any of these people trying to,
put a face with the case.
yep.
Any other public comment? Any Zoomers?
No, not at this time.
All right, we'll bring it back to the board.
Numbers are we talking about here?
2,400 tops.
Up to 24.
What would the payment plan be?
So it would be a minimum of $100 each month at least, but she'd have to pay it back within 6 months, whatever the total is.
Yeah, those numbers don't really,
I know, but that's what we've done with the last 2 loans that we've done. So that way you get your money back.
And who does the collection?
She would be coming to me to drop off the payment each month.
Will a balloon payment at the 6 month?
Again, it just depends on if she gets 1 dumpster, it may be less, and she can pay that within the 6 months. Because if it's $600 bill or $700 bill, you can make that happen. So it just depends on what she gets.
The dumpster cost is relative to the weight.
Right.
And the terms would be up to the board, so if you wanted to give more time, you could. Or if they got to the end and couldn't pay it, you could add more
Not like
time.
it's gonna be more time, whether we,
Yeah, I'd suggest you want to go someplace where it's going to be successful. So a balloon payment probably isn't going to work.
no, that's why I asked that question.
So, yeah, just, you want to say 100 a month until it's paid off, that's,
I think 100 a month would be reasonable.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, very good.
You know, I do have one question. Why is there pictures, it looks like inside a home?
Those were building code violations.
Inside the house?
Yes. Those are health and safety codes. So
So do you search inside homes, or you get a warrant, or what?
That one was, we were also involved, without getting too much in the case, CPS and all that stuff, so.
Okay,
We did not, they gave consent without having to do that.
okay.
So the terms would just be $100 minimum a month until it's paid off.
Yep.
Make that a motion, I mean, make the loan and then make the minimum $100 a month until it's paid off, or if they want to pay it off early, that's fine too.
I'll second.
All right, we had a motion by Supervisor Epperson to approve the loan, and a second by Supervisor Brown. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck to you. Item 3D is code enforcement again. Hold on here, we have a little powwow.
Welcome.
Welcome. Good luck to you. All right, the next one. Rochelle, go ahead.
Okay, this one's regarding Amador County Department of Code Enforcement versus Donna L. Sturginger and Chloe Tanton. This one's parcel of real property, which is located at 23075 Roden Lane in Pioneer. APN 030360001. The owner of the subject property is Donna L. Sturginger and Chloe Tanton. On February 3rd, 2026, county staff visited the subject property and determined that an unoccupied recreational vehicle was being used on the subject property in violation of County Code Section 19.48.080G1. On February 4, 2026, county sent notice of violation regarding the unlawful occupied recreational vehicle by certified mail to both the landowner at 11310 Prospect Drive, Suite 10 in Jackson, and to the resident at the subject property. On February 27, 26, county staff inspected this subject property and determined that the above referenced violation continues to exist. On April 8th, 2026, county staff posted a notice of proposed abatement of code violations on the front door and the trailer door at the subject property. The county also mailed this notice by first-class mail to the landowner at 11310 Prospect Drive, Suite 10, Jackson. On May 20th, 2026, county staff inspected the subject property and determined that the above referenced violation continues to exist. As of date, the hearing, the above referenced violations continue to exist on subject property, and the landowner received notice of a meaningful opportunity to be heard at this administrative abatement hearing proceeding. So the hearing board wanted to recommend to the Board of Supervisors to order the administrative abatement of the unpermitted occupied trailer existing on the subject property at 23075 Roden Lane, Pioneer. In the event the property owner does not comply with this order, direct staff upon the passage of the 30 days to take all necessary actions to abate the violation on the subject property, to obtain all necessary court orders, to make all necessary inspections of the subject property until the violation is remedied. As the prevailing party, the county shall recover its cost of abatement, including administrative and investigative costs and attorney fees at the expense of the property owner.
All right, any questions?
Property owner been responsive at all, or what are they, what's their,
I actually got a voice message yesterday saying that she's going to take the county to court because it's BS.
okay.
That's what I got.
You know, a question for you. Are they living there full-time?
I cannot tell you that.
Does it appear they're living there full-time?
Yes, there's a water container. Every time we've gone out, there's been connection, slide out, spin out. It's been the side of a generator.
What does abatement look like?
This would be a court order, so you would get a court order to have the person vacate the premise and then store the trailer, because we're not gonna take the trailer.
So you just nail it shut or something?
No,
Call it off.
it would just be a court order that they would have to store the trailer and not stay there, or they'll be in violation.
That's the abatement process,
That would be the abatement process for that, yes.
not an expensive abatement process.
Yes.
I guess the question I'd have is, doesn't appear to be much junk around there. That's why I wondered if they're living there full-time or if they're just keeping a fairly clean place.
Again, there's a reasonable belief that someone's staying there, so they're still violating the code whether there's junk there or not. They're showing signs of it, and the fact that the owner is wanting to contest what we're doing is also a sign that that occupied is being is being lived in.
I guess where I'm going with this a little bit is, I can understand if people have it's a junk show, but I also understand we've got a lot of homeless. I guess we've talked about this before.
We have.
And, you know, I think in a way, you know, I understand what we're doing here, the code. I just wonder if we may not be contributing to another homeless person possibly. I'm not saying I kind of like what they're doing here, but I'm just going, well, you know, I see an issue.
They have obviously have
Reason we're
water.
modifying our ordinance right now.
Yep, change the code if you don't like it.
So we have, so it looks like they have a storage building, a water tank, generator. Do they have septic there, do we know?
No, not that I know of.
Not permitted anyway. I
Yeah,
guess.
all I could see is without going down, on the other side, they have one of those 256 water totes, so they may be disposing of their, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It also is a big backdrop of a hill, so they could be dumping it on the backside too, I don't know.
So this is the second one in very close proximity. There were two almost side by side, correct? There was one last year.
Yes, down
There's
the
like-
street at the end of the
There's
cul-de-sac.
one or two houses in between these two.
No, there's about 4 or 5 houses between
Right.
these two, yeah.
And it would not conform to we have a hearing coming up, but it wouldn't conform to that
Yeah, that possible.
description.
This neighborhood is, I see what you're saying, Brian, but, I mean, that means that 1/3 of this section of the neighborhood is trailers without septics.
Yeah, and septic's not, no
It's really
septic's
not fair to
that's
the,
not
it's not very fair to the, I know all the houses, they're not, I mean, those people put effort into keeping their homes nice and they enjoy where they live, and now they have, that's
Okay.
their neighborhood.
There's a
Fair
lot of RV spots out there too. You can do the same thing for legally and permitted, I think.
good enough.
Good stuff.
Yep.
All right, any other comments from the supervisors? Any public comment? Zoomers?
Not at this time.
All right, we'll bring it back to the board.
I make a motion that we adopt the board's, hearing board's findings and recommendations.
I'll second it.
All right, we had a motion by Supervisor Epperson, a second by Supervisor Oneto on this abatement board hearing on 23075 Roden Lane. All in favor of the suggested action signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. One more.
Yes,
Michelle?
one more. This one is Amador County Department of Code Enforcement versus Catherine Uri and Morgan Ash. Parcel of real property which county code violation 6 is located at 14910 Sutter Highland Drive in Sutter Creek. APN 0153600340000. Owners of the subject property are Catherine Uri and Morgan Ash. On August 11, 2025, the building department was informed by the Amador County assessors of an unpermitted single-family dwelling located on the subject property. On August 15, 2025, building department sent the landowner a notice of violation for numerous code violations, which was an unpermitted shed and the unpermitted residential structure. The landowner was given until August 29, 2025 to obtain the required permits for compliance. The landowners did not obtain the required permits and the case was referred to code enforcement. On November 6, 2025, county sent notice of proposed abatement of code violations to the landowners via first-class mail to P.O. Box 1243 Sutter Creek and posted on the property on November 11, 2025. On April 30th, 2026, county staff recorded the violations on the subject property. The recorded notice of violation was sent by first-class mail to the landowners at P.O. Box 1243. The mail notice was returned on May 12, 2026, and a recorded notice was also posted on the property on July 1st, 2026. As of date of this hearing, the above referenced violation, the unpermitted building structures continue to exist on the subject property. The landowner received notice and a meaningful opportunity to be heard at these administrative abatement hearing proceedings. So currently, the illegal structure is occupied with dogs, and they have a water storage unit on the hill connected to PVC pipe that's going from towards the driveway towards the structure. The parcel is currently a vacant parcel with no residential structure, no septic, power, or water permitted.
It looks almost like they have a above-ground electrical cord going to the water pump.
Yeah, yeah,
It's never a good thing.
yeah. So this one would either be a demo of the structures or securing the structures from illegal occupancy. Sorry, I didn't say the hearing board's recommendations. So they want to issue an order to the landowner with a 45 days to voluntarily comply with the abatement by either demoing, obtaining a demo permit and demolishing the structures and clearing all the solid waste and junk, or obtain and submit building plans to change the structures to a legal residential dwelling, as well obtain required permits to have legal water, power, and sewer installed. In the event the property owner does not comply with the order, direct staff upon the passage of the 45 days to take all necessary action to abate the violation or secure the structures from occupancy on the subject property, to obtain all necessary court orders, and to make all necessary inspections of the subject property until the violation is remedied. As a prevailing party, the county shall recover its cost of abatement, including administrative and investigative costs and attorney fees at the expense of the property owner.
It looks like they have a power pole there. Do they have power there, or is it?
No, yeah.
I mean, is there a drop there? They usually obviously have power, but I mean, how's that work?
Again, that I don't know without going too extensive on the property, so.
I see there's a power pole there. I just see it. I'm not sure
Yeah.
they're doing something with it, but. And what's their response been? Has there been any conversation at all, or just nothing?
No, when I did go to post, like I said, it was occupied, the door was open. I knocked a few times, but no one came to the door.
Okay.
So.
It says return to center, so have they been contacted? Have they made any contact at all?
So everything, the first notice of violation and the administrative abatement notice I had did not return. It was only the recorded notice that was returned so far.
It does appear the structure, is it conforming to any building codes at all, or is it?
No, yeah, no, that's,
Yeah, so I
Very
mean, they
janky.
couldn't permit it probably if they wanted to.
yeah, it is a hodgepodge of materials that puts that together.
And this is all visible from Sutter Highlands Road.
From the neighbors.
From the
You
neighbors.
can see it, yeah, because there's actually, I thought there was a house that belonged to it, but once I researched it, it's an actual vacant lot that's attached, and there's two houses right in view of it, and there's one below it that can see this.
Another A for art and F for compliance, I guess.
Just doing this right in people's faces is, I don't know. It's pretty rough on the neighbors.
Any questions from the board? Any public comment on this issue? No Zoomers?
No, not at this time.
All right, we'll bring it back to the board.
What does abatement look like exactly? Just nail it shut?
So this one, I'm gonna get bids for either demoing the structure or, yes, securing the structure.
So the securing option would be an inexpensive abatement process?
It might be also cheap, it might be not that far off of demoing it either.
Do you know a way to nail plywood to blue tarps?
That's why I say it would, when doing the inspection, we'd have to see if it's something we could secure safely. If it's not, then the option's gonna be demoing it.
Do you have to get a court order to do all?
Yes, correct. More likely I will, since the property owners are not responding to me. Yeah.
Pleasure of the board.
I'll make a motion to adopt the hearing board's findings and recommendations.
I will second this one.
All right, we had a motion by Supervisor Brown and a second by Supervisor Carnell to adopt the hearing on 14910 Sutter Highlands Drive, adopt the hearing recommendations. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you,
Thank you.
Michelle. 3F, review and possible approval of July 14th board minutes. Any corrections?
Catch anything?
Motion approved.
Second.
Right, we had a motion by Supervisor Oneto, a second by Supervisor Cornell to approve the July 14th minutes as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We're going to take a 8-minute break and we'll reconvene at 10:35 for the public hearings. We have 5 of them. We'll call this meeting back to order. And we're on to public hearings. First one, 4A, is a public hearing for the abandonment of 15-foot by 215-foot ingress-egress driveway for John L. Langston. Got the property and the parcel numbers. I see Steve is here. Up, and we will open the public hearing.
Steve Zanetta,
Hi,
Huron
Steve.
County Surveyor. The owner came in requesting a merger. There is a easement from across lot 207 to access 208. It is shown on the subdivision map. Being he's merging the property, that easement would no longer be necessary. Even though it's a private easement, it basically shows on the subdivision map, so we felt the best thing to do would be to abandon it. That way it's clear and there's a record that that easement no longer exists. Other than that, it's just a standard merger.
Okay. Pretty ministerial. Any questions from the supervisors? Any public comment? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing on this item.
So moved.
Second?
All right, we had a motion by Supervisor Carnell, a second by Supervisor Brown to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, now we bring it back to the board. Entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion to approve the resolutions abandoning the easements, the merger.
All right, we had a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Steve. 4B is Civitas LLC, and we have an announcement on that.
Hi, Krista Rousseau with the Amador County Planning Department. I just want to note that there was a noticing error with this item, so we will have to send new notices, and it will be scheduled for the next meeting, which will be the August 11th meeting.
Is that
All right.
enough time?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's notice of exemption, so it's a 10-day notice, so.
So we wouldn't table it, we just drop it?
You would continue it.
We,
I mean.
because the new note.
Oh, you're doing a new notice?
Yeah, the notice had the incorrect date, so we'll have to resend a notice to all the surrounding property
Yeah.
owners.
So
It'll
then,
be essentially a
and
new
this
item.
could get dropped.
Yeah.
If the board, if anyone's here who wants to talk,
We could accept public
you
comment.
could. But it'd probably be better if they could, if they're able to come back, that it's all heard at the same time.
Okay,
And the applicants have been notified as well.
all right. Is there-
Notified that they were improperly notified.
Correct, yeah, that one was correctly delivered.
All right, is there any public comment on this item? Any Zoomers on this item?
Not at this time.
So we can just drop it? Okay, we'll move on. Thank you. We'll see you next month. 4C is also a public hearing, request for a Williamson Act contract, or a request for new Williamson Act contract, 462. Got the ag numbers and parcel numbers. This is a public hearing on this item, and I will now open the public hearing.
Krista Rousseau from the Planning Department again. Yeah, so this is an application for a new property, or a existing property that's currently zoned R1A, single-family residential and agriculture, to be entered into the Williamson Act. So it'd be entering as one parcel that's 465.98 acres. The property owner is Robertson Family Trust, and this is located in Supervisorial District 5 at 15355 State Highway 124 in Plymouth. Yeah, I mean, it's fairly standard. It's all grazing land. I believe there is a residence on site. But the application was reviewed by Amador County Technical Advisory Committee and Ag Advisory Committee and the Planning Commission, and there was no objection to moving it, to approving it on any of those fronts. And the Planning Commission officially made a recommendation to approve the zone change and the proposed new contract, along with the findings included.
All right, for that information. Any supervisors' questions? Any public comment? No Zoomers?
No.
All right, I would entertain a motion to close this public hearing.
So move.
Seconded. Third.
I don't know who made the motion.
It was a motion by Supervisor Brown and a second by about three of you. I heard Epperson first, so Supervisor Epperson. He's over on my good side, I guess. To close the public hearing. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Motion carries 5-0 to close the public hearing. Now I call for the question.
I'd make a motion that it's exempt under CEQA and approve the zone change and also approve the findings 1 through 8.
Second.
Right. Motion by Supervisor Oneto, a second by Supervisor Cornell. On the Robertson request, as presented, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. 4D is another public hearing, a zoning ordinance amendment to allow 20 use permits per parcel within 50 feet of an existing dwelling. Permit is 1 year renewable. RV must connect to main dwelling activities, no generators, meet zoning setbacks, no short-term rentals. Discussion and possible action. We'll open the public hearing this time. Chuck Beatty, how are you?
Good morning, Chuck Beatty with the Planning Department. This is an item that actually originated with the board a few months ago in your various discussions about affordable housing issues and the possibility of using recreational vehicles as temporary, sort of like an ADU, but not officially as a house. I think you went through several of the criteria, but it would allow no more than 20 such permits to be issued in a year. Those are cumulative, so there'll be 20 per year going forward. Only one permit would be granted per parcel, and the parcel must contain an existing dwelling. Those permits are allowed to be reissued each year as long as they meet the criteria that are in the code, so that's the cumulative nature. You get 20 this year, 20 next year, and so on. The RV would have to be connected to the utilities of the existing dwelling. They can't be serviced by a generator for its primary power. Has to be no more than 50 feet from the existing dwelling, and it can't interfere with the setbacks for whichever zoning district it happens to be in. The item was reviewed by the Planning Commission earlier this month, and they recommended approval of the ordinance and approval of the categorical exemption per CEQA, which is the requested board action.
Right.
Be happy to answer any questions.
Any public comment from the board, any public comment from the Planning Commission, any concerns they had there?
They had a question about the cumulative nature of the permits or whether people would have to fight over the existing 20 permits every year, but it would be cumulative.
Okay. It's like first come, first served, I guess.
It's 20 period.
Per year, per calendar year.
And so next year it'll be 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're reviewed every year, and then that would, if there was complaints, I guess that would come out then, I suppose. Or-
Right. Yeah, anytime the permit's renewed, it's subject to inspection.
Okay. I think that was probably one of the key things, that we make sure we keep tabs on them and all that.
Right.
Mr. Beatty, I have a question. So, but there still wouldn't be more than 20 permits because the original 20 would expire and then you'd do the next 20.
Well, the original.
They're annual permits.
As those expire, they could be renewed.
Right.
But additional 20 could be issued.
So
next year we could have 40 total.
Is that the way the board wants it to be?
Put a greater restriction on that and just make those renewable. I imagine that being an administrative issue or a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it's going smooth, it's no big deal. If it's having problems, that's gonna be the problem.
Sure, you've always got the authority to rein it in.
We could settle those 20 each year at the new arm wrestling event at the Amador.
There you go.
You know, I support the idea with trepidation. I guess one question I'd have is, say if we do this and it starts looking like we're having problems, and it's probably a Greg question down the road, can we extinguish the whole program, including the existing ministerial permits?
So You can, but if you've issued a permit that lasts a year, that year gets to
Yeah,
run
but 1
out.
year, and the year's
But if the
gone.
program goes away and it can't be renewed, then, yeah.
It's our prerogative to renew it, or we don't have,
Well, if you take the program away, then my permit that you've issued that expires after a year, subject to renewal, can't be renewed, so my permit expires.
I'd be a lot more comfortable with that, because I hate to do something where it becomes Pandora's box and,
gets away from us.
yeah.
Embedded in this is you wait less than a year and you can get out of everything at any time, right? We can.
But any permits issued are still valid for the term of
Right.
that permit, but
So
after that, there would be no more issued.
we could get out of this in 364 days or less of the
Yeah.
whole thing.
If we stepped in it and, we can. And something else that people have brought up, like River Pines, they have an issue up there just in general. And there's been a lot of people in River Pines that, hey, they had real misgivings, and I was wondering if there's some way you could exempt River Pines from, because they're so close together up there. It was an ask some people and asked, and I thought, well, I could see what they're asking.
Is it an issue because those parcels are incredibly small and very oddly shaped?
And parking
And
is just
issues
a
of
mess up
setbacks.
there already.
Does the setbacks do that already? Would it?
Probably, but maybe not always.
Yeah, it's always, the way the parcels are shaped and the way those little subdivisions were created, it just created some issues with setbacks to begin with, because parcels are small and they're not conforming.
And the roads were built
Squares
for
or
Model A's, which are what, 6 feet wide or whatever they are?
Would that be part of the permitting process? I mean, when you come to you're gonna look at it and say, wow, that's not gonna work here. Even though you meet some of the criteria, it's just not gonna be safe. Is there a way that you guys can handle that? Do you have enough room to do that fairly?
Not administratively, we'd have to bring it to you as a variance.
Okay. I mean, or is there a way to adjust the verbiage to kind of address that without just exempting them wholesale, or? I mean, I know that's always in the weeds is where it goes, but yeah.
Well, the standard, like side setback in anywhere is gonna be 5 feet unless the parcel's an acre larger than the state fire code makes it 30 feet.
Okay.
The state ADU code says ADUs can be 4 feet from the property line if it's, and our code says, and we'll allow that if it's not in on a parcel an acre or larger. I mean, that only helps a foot, really, if you put that verbiage in this code.
That's a lot in River Pines.
Yeah.
Might
Enough.
make the difference. And maybe that's a case where if we get a bunch of issues like that, we come back and say we need to find some kind of relief in the program.
I think the get out of jail free is the 1 year permitted. And I think as that year closes, we can probably redress it. And then if we need to make any adjustments, I think that's probably where that should take place. So that,
Can some of this be addressed just in they have to meet certain criteria in the issuance process for this? Is part of it, or do we have any discretion in that? Or not really?
No, staff doesn't.
Okay.
If it meets these criteria, you pretty much get the permit, but we don't have the ability to vary the.
So whatever we put on the,
board approval.
whatever we put down as a permit, that's all they gotta meet, and that's it.
Right.
One other question I had too is about, within 50 feet of an existing dwelling, I was wondering, would you want to do a structure? Because some of these in rural areas, you may have a barn, and they maybe have water power there, and maybe even a septic. If they did, I wouldn't see a problem with that. If you're out in a rural area, as long as you're in, I think the main thing is you want to have water, power, septic, especially septic. And personally, I mean, if I had a neighbor or somewhat, if they had I don't care if they have a RV by their house or by their barn or wherever, as long as it's got, septic and water and power. 'Cause I have people complain about people running off generators. I hear that, and they don't mind their neighbor doing whatever they're doing, but sometimes the people are running generators 1 in the morning, and people don't like that at all.
You looking for flexibility on the 50 feet, that it could be more than 50 feet?
Flexibility on the description of the,
Main dwelling.
of the dwelling that they're attached to, I guess. Is that what you're asking?
That or maybe a further distance, because like, I know it's up, I don't want to rat nobody out, it had a real nice little location. Actually, there was no structure. But they looked like they were on, they had power, looked like they had water, septic, and they were quite a ways from the main dwelling, and they looked very happy, and they had a little dog house, their dog, and the dog looked pretty happy, no one was there, but it's just one of those locations you see, hey, you see people, there's people are struggling financially, and you see somebody has a nice location, they look pretty secure, pretty comfortable, and they're not, if I had them for a neighbor, I wouldn't care. Now, sometimes you see some of these, whether it's a house or a travel trailer that's a junkyard with, you know, they got rat condominiums built there and no septic and a generator. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily want to have that for a neighbor neither. But if somebody's got a trailer house and they're middle of 40 acres and they got water, power, septic, I think everybody wants a house at some point. But I think a lot of people now are just trying to find a home of sorts.
You could leave it the way it is, and then if a situation like that came up, they could apply for a variance, and that would come to the board.
Thank you, Greg, I like that.
I think the situation you're
So
describing,
acknowledge there might be a problem, that's.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
the situation you're describing is less likely to be complained about, therefore less likely to come before us anyway.
There's that too, yeah.
Yeah, you like one that's really nice, and then you come across one that's not so nice, and he says, well, hey, mine is really nice for me. So it gets so subjective that we'd end up here anyway.
If there's something where they could come before the board and say, hey, can you, I'm good. And can we maybe exempt River Pines from this ordinance?
Would it have to go back to the planning commission if we exempted a specific area?
Look at council.
Probably not. You're not making it broader. You're not, yeah. I would say no.
Okay.
Is there a
Is there
description of
like
River
a-
Pines? Are there boundary lines?
Subdivision?
That's my
like
next
a,
question.
like a parcel size?
Greater River Pines and suburban River Pines.
Lower and upper?
There is a utilities district boundary.
Oh, there you go.
Other one I
That'd be the way to
can
do
think
that.
of.
We'd have to have some definable boundary.
Yeah, yes, it needs a descriptor, I guess, that'd be the big.
I think there would be the original subdivision map, or maybe you could put in River Pines, PUD, that'd probably be pretty simple. Whatever's in that district.
Are there people in River Pines that could use this provision that wouldn't be a problem to their neighbors, that wouldn't like that plan either though?
Minimal, if any.
Is there a parcel size that would work?
I think I'd just do the public utility district, that'd be kind of it'd be pretty simple to look at.
I suppose on the other side of that too, if, I was just looking at the map trying to figure out the sizes and stuff, but, if they, you know, if we just exempted River Pines and then somebody in River Pines wanted to have a trailer, they could ask for an exemption as well on the other side of that, is that correct?
Okay.
Variance, they could come before us or you and request a variance, that might be the way to handle it. They could be the opposite as opposed to start out with the exemption and then work backwards if they want.
That'd work, yeah.
That might be the way.
Okay, Greg.
That seems to make sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
kind of the same thing, but I think.
Trying to think of the variance findings might be hard to make in that context. But if a situation came up, there's probably ways the board could even change the ordinance to accommodate, you know, another exceptional circumstance that, you know, wasn't foreseen.
Always exceptions.
I'm good.
I think this is worth the gamble.
All right. Yeah, I think so too.
There's a couple places that have RVs sitting next to them right now in River Pines.
So we'd add to the ordinance a provision that excludes properties located within the River Pines Public Utility District.
Yeah.
Can we approve it today with that? Yeah.
Yes.
Right, yeah, 'cause we need an identifiable boundary of what is River Pine.
And that would work, the utility district.
And they'd be something, they'd be serviced now if the utility district recognizes it. It'd be an active parcel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, full power there. Any public comment on this? Zoomers?
No, not at this time.
All right. Make sure this isn't something for this item. Sidebar.
I'm not sure if you closed the public hearing yet or not.
He hasn't.
Okay,
Still talking over there.
okay, that's what I thought.
Legal conference.
Didn't think well, we can bring that. I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing, and we can take this after the.
So move?
Second.
Was that Supervisor Brown with a motion?
Yes.
You're on the bad side over there.
How did we get on the bad side of them?
Second by Supervisor Cornell.
Way to get on the bad side of everybody eventually.
All in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. We're back for the question. Greg, is there something pertinent in discussion?
There's a possibility that the variance findings that need to be made would, it would be hard to make those findings because you're not giving like a special benefit to a certain parcel. But I mean, the reason that we're excluding River Pines is generally because the parcel sizes are too small.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there was a parcel that was large enough to, and could meet all of these categories,
Possible.
it's possible you can make the right findings.
Okay.
And I mean, I suppose our places, they have smaller parcel sizes. Should we address that now, or, I mean, what would be a parcel size? Is there a number? I mean,
I don't think I want to address it now, just make it
Yeah.
a blanket River Pines.
no, that's fine. Yeah. I suspect, yeah, that if there's a trouble, we'll find it pretty quick, so.
Yeah, this will be one that may have to come back for revision.
Years and years of revision. I'll make a motion that we make the zone ordinance amendment allowing 20 use permits per year for recreational vehicle occupancy, subject to one parcel within 50 feet of an existing dwelling. Permit term is 1 year, renewable. RV must be connected to main dwelling. Utilities, no generators, meets zoning setbacks, and no STRs, also known as short-term rentals, with the exception exempting River Pines from this change.
And that it's exempt from CEQA and with the findings.
Those things as well.
I'll second that.
All right. Excuse me, we had a motion by Supervisor Epperson, and a second by Supervisor Oneto for the zoning ordinance amendments as RVs as temporary housing with limits and CEQA being met. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. We have one more. Review 4E is review amendments to County Code Section 19.72-050, accessory dwelling units to incorporate changes required by state housing statutes, Government Code 7, Division 1, Chapter 13, ADUs. Discussion and possible action. We'll open the public hearing with a staff report.
All right, thank you. Chuck Beatty with the Planning Department again. In February, you approved a series of amendments to the accessory dwelling unit ordinance. And we sent those to the State Department of Housing and Community Development for their review, and darned if they didn't find a half a dozen other things that we needed to include in the code. Probably several that we did by practice, but they actually wanted them in black and white. And so the amendments have to do with the height. At the time the original ADU ordinance or legislation was passed, they had a height limit of 16 feet. That's now 25 feet for detached units. The county code currently doesn't require that if, an ADU to have sprinklers if the main dwelling doesn't have sprinklers. And we've never had or made the construction of an ADU trigger sprinklers in the main dwelling, but the state wants that actually in black and white in the code. So that was the second amendment. The third has to do with parking. We don't require additional parking for ADUs that are constructed within a dwelling. So if you do a garage or basement conversion, we don't require additional parking for that, but that expands that to detached ADUs as well. We adopted a non-punitive permitting process for ADUs that were built prior to the original ADU legislation. If they were built without a permit, you could go through a non-punitive process to get those brought up to code. The state legislation also allows that if it was a permitted ADU, if it becomes substandard per the building code or the health and safety code, they can go through that same non-punitive process to get it brought up to code. The overall allowances, you can actually have a junior accessory dwelling unit within a main dwelling and an attached accessory dwelling unit as part of the main dwelling and a detached accessory dwelling unit, all on the same property. In the unincorporated area, would be rare for that to happen because parcels are simply too small to accommodate the septic systems needed for that. But there is the possibility, and all three of those are allowed any place that a single-family home is allowed now per state law. And then the most confusing part about it is always related to the multifamily projects. Not that we have very many in the unincorporated area, but you're allowed to have a number of detached ADUs as you do apartments up to a maximum of 8. And then they changed the legislation to say that also you can add another batch of detached or included ADUs if up to 25% of what was the uninhabitable space in the apartment complex, if that's converted to habitable space per the building code, then you can have up to 25% of the total number of apartments added as ADUs if that uninhabitable space is converted to habitable space. And it goes to the building permit process. I guess if it didn't get a permit, then maybe you go through the non-punitive process to get it brought up to code. I don't know. I'm not gonna put that into code now. It'll confuse them even more.
Did you run that by us in English? Who's on first?
Yeah, exactly. So an apartment complex that had basements, garages, attics, you can use 25% of the total number of apartments. You can convert that space to ADUs as long as you comply with the building code.
So if you have 100 apartments, you can add 25 more in the garages and storage spaces.
Right.
Wow.
And that's California law.
That's California housing law, yes.
Very insightful.
Can you go back to the sprinklers?
Sure.
So you said there was a change now. So what's?
I don't think it was a change. I think it was always in the code and we've never enforced it. So if a main dwelling doesn't have sprinklers, you can't require the ADU to have sprinklers.
Correct.
I'm guessing that some jurisdictions use the construction of an ADU to somehow trigger
Okay,
installing
so
sprinklers
what
in
we're
the main
doing
house.
has not
Not that
changed.
we've ever done that, but that's what the state law says, and they want it in black and white in our
They
code.
definitely do.
No change in practice, just
Codified.
Okay.
change in language in
Because
the
then
books.
You're going to tell me I'm so glad I've just finaled then.
Yeah. Then so the height, the restriction 16 to 25 feet, is that going to be, have we had any comments from the fire department or?
No.
Okay. Just a longer ladder, I guess, huh?
All right. Any public comment on this issue? Zoomers? All right. I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Supervisor Brown made the motion.
No, that was Supervisor Cornell.
I tell you guys, I gotta start looking at you so I can read the lips. Supervisor
About to say
Cornell
our
made
names.
and Supervisor Epperson seconded it. All right, all in favor of closing the public hearing, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, now back to call for the question.
Mr. Chair, just one quick statement.
Yeah,
I do, like I just said, I put an ADU under my property for my mother to live in. So she has, and she is actually living in the house right now. But I want to compliment the planning department, the building department for making it an easy process. It was very much an easy process and very much appreciated. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good to hear.
yeah. Okay. Looking for a motion.
Well, then, I'll make a motion to, for us to change our accessory dwelling units to incorporate the changes required by the state of housing statutes, specifically Government Code Title 7, Division 1, Chapter 13.
Second.
All right. We had a motion by Supervisor Brown, a second by Supervisor Cornell to adopt the state statute, probably Government Code Title 7, Division 1, Chapter 13.
With the findings too?
With the,
Findings and the CEQA.
Yes.
all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck. With that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.